2 years, 50 episodes. Thank you so much for being one of our longtime listeners. If you want to take a more active role in supporting the show, you can always, of course, write in. We love to get fan mail from you. We love to answer your questions. Or you can head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/shadesansketch. You can support the show for as little as $1, and we're giving you all kinds of goodies, exclusive content, exclusive episodes, episode art. It's all there for you. On to this week's episode.
Oh, hello. I'm Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
And this is
Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch.
Welcome back, longtime listeners.
So glad you're here with us.
Thanks for joining us again in our GOCO as we bring it to every single tiny itty bitty corner of the Geeking Out multiverse. This week, Shades and I getting our learn on back in some higher education. Am I right, sir?
Oh, yeah. I am so glad to be here at Glen Canyon Community College.
Yep. We really missed our glory days of
getting my learning on.
Yep. We're getting our degrees in microbiology, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of right.
Yeah. And firefighting.
And geology.
Yeah. It all checks. The math works.
The math all
checks out. So if we are here at Glen Canyon Community College, that must mean that we are talking about Evolution,
the 2001 Ivan Reitman comedy.
Is it?
Gem?
You guys have been waiting for it. I mean, since episode 1, you've been like, when are these two yokels going to get to Evolution? The one movie that we need.
Yeah.
We're clamoring for.
Well, you know what I say to that? Caw, tookie.
I don't think caw, tookie is going to work in this situation.
I think you might be right.
So if we are talking about the classic,
arguably the funniest line of the movie,
Evolution,
hey.
Do we have a theme song?
I think we do, Sketch, because there was dancing and singing and moving to the music. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and said, "Play that funky music, white boy."
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're allowed to say that, right?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. So guys, if we're going to be talking about Evolution, we are going to spoil what year was this?
2001.
2001 movie Evolution, and nothing else.
Nothing else.
There's no extended universe.
There's no. There's a short-lived animated series.
Well, I won't be spoiling that because I'm not even aware of it.
I have no memories of it.
And of course, we might spoil the existence of all life on Earth.
The careers of David Duchovny,
Orlando
Jones,
Sean
William Scott,
Julianne
Moore, Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd spoiled his own.
Yeah, by being in this turd of a movie.
And that's it. It's so nice to have like a self-contained,
just one and done.
Yeah.
Oh, this just in. Sketch Evolution reboot.
I would welcome a reboot of this, guys. We're getting there, but let's start with our own history.
Our own history.
Shades, your history with Evolution.
Okay, so my history with this movie is directly tied to my history with Ghostbusters.
Of course. It's such in the same vein.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. So way back when, in the yesteryear of like 1996, or I'm sorry, 1998 rather. I'm sorry. We were at the 10-year. It had been 10 years since Ghostbusters 2, and there was the first real push for a Ghostbusters 3. And in 1998 to World 1999, it was Y2K. There were all of these end of the world.
We made it through though.
All of these kind of like doom and gloom ideas, and we probably had the first and best real push for a Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, it's so sad. 99 to 2000, that's perfect thematically timing for Ghostbusters.
It really was.
So much.
And they had a great idea. Dan Aykroyd, every 5 years, Dan Aykroyd gets on a talk show and starts talking about Ghostbusters 3 and how it's happening. And we all just ignore him now.
No, you got it.
And so there was a script. It was called Ghostbusters Hellbound. And it got into the early pre-production stages. There were just, in the early days of the internet, there were just a host of websites that were, Ghostbusters News, Slime Square, GBHQ, the Interdimensional Cross Ripped, AOL Ghostbusters.
And you were the moderator for all these pages.
I was certainly on all of these message boards and these websites trying to get my latest and greatest Ghostbuster news.
Sure.
And it had gotten to the point where in New York City Hall, somebody was able to get a picture, a source inside from one of these Ghostbusters sources got a photograph of a State of New York City planning meeting in which on a whiteboard or not a whiteboard or something, but it was official. You could tell it was in a meeting, was Ghostbuster 3, that they were talking about the logistics of filming a third movie in New York.
Okay.
Now, in the clause, in order for a Ghostbuster movie to be made, Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Bill Murray all have to agree on a script.
Okay. If
any one of them object to it, the project is shut down.
Sure.
Now, Harold Ramis subsequently passed on.
Yeah.
So now that is a three-way tiebreaker now. And so it was basically what would happen is Bill Murray would always say, "Nope, I don't like the script," and Harold Ramis would say, "Well, if Bill doesn't like the script, I'm out." That dynamic has changed with the passing of Harold Ramis, and Bill Murray has kind of gotten out of the way in subsequent years, and we keep getting all these Ghostbuster projects. But in 1998, Bill Murray put the kibosh on Ghostbusters 3: Hellbound.
Okay,
and so Ivan Reitman's jonesing for a project. And he gets handed this script, which he reads, and I guess kind of says well, fuck Bill Murray. I'm going to make a new Ghostbusters.
Yeah, fuck him.
I'm going to create a new universe. I'm going to go off and strike gold with a new team, and lightning's going to strike twice.
Absolutely.
And so...
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. So this movie kind of fills that void. So I was very keyed into Evolution, that this was going to be the new Ghostbusters, and was right on board from day one with trailers. I saw it in theaters. I remember enjoying it well enough when it came out in 2001. I had the lobby poster for it right up until to July, when I finally discarded it.
2019 for all of our future listeners.
Yeah. So I kept the poster. I think the three-eyed Harvey Ball logo, it was great branding, but it was clear they came up with that after the fact, because it never actually appears in the movie.
It's not relevant
at all. It features very heavily in the animated series, I think for obvious reasons, but not in the movie at all. And it was kind of their No Ghost logo.
Oh, I am kind of vaguely remembering.
The show was called Alienators: Evolution Continues, and it was very much a real Ghostbusters procedural Monster of the Week thing.
Yeah.
And so, but I also remember leaving the movie and going, there was something not quite right about this Ghostbusters.
Yes. No ghosts.
Well, and just something about it. Something about it didn't work from day one for me.
I think you'll be hard pressed to find something wrong with this movie.
Yeah. Sketch, what's your history with Evolution?
My history with Evolution is, it came out in 2001. So that was, for long-time listeners who have been keeping track at home, that was when I was working at the movie theater.
Yeah.
So I saw it in theaters. I have no memory of it. I have no memory of how I felt about it. I just know I saw it. And as I was watching it again for this podcast, I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay, now I'm remembering that and this and that. So I was certainly not walking out of it going, that was the biggest piece of horseshit I've ever seen.
Right.
But I also, nothing stuck with me.
Yeah.
Nothing stuck with me.
I have a vague recollection of us watching this in college because I have a vague recollection of having a similar discussion with some of the accoutrement that we are in the presence of today.
Yeah.
Because this is also the pinnacle of Orlando Jones' career. Dr. Harry Block, for those of you in the know of this movie.
College is a time for experimentation. A lot of people when they're in college do some things they're not proud of.
Make some poor decisions.
Really abuse their bodies with substances, alcohol. We were right in that vein. We watched movies like Evolution.
Yeah.
And we're paying the price for that now.
We are
in our twilight years here.
We are. Yeah.
We'll get there with scores. But I would like to say, just to our long-term listeners, public service announcement: time is precious. Spend time with your loved ones. Go for a nice walk.
And
save yourself an hour and 40 minutes.
And
make 7 up yours.
Yeah, make 7 up yours.
Make 7 up yours. Orlando Jones was the spokesperson for 7 Up. Right around this time.
Yeah.
And
you were longtime listeners.
Listeners.
Sketch told me yesterday, I try and wear an appropriate T-shirt every time we go after a property.
Mm-hmm.
And I was way off on this one.
You know what we should start doing? Take a picture of me in my T-shirt to put it on the Twitter,
the Patreon,
as like a little hint what's coming up.
Oh yeah,
because they don't always match.
They don't always match perfectly.
I didn't have a Ninja Turtles T-shirt, so I wore my Avatar: The Last Airbender meets Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. T-shirt because Leonardo.
It was a nice.
It's a good tie. Yeah. This way back in the day in middle school when Make 7.
I guess it would have been high school, actually.
High school, whenever it was. They developed a shirt. It says "Make 7" on the front, "Up yours" on the back.
Up yours on the back.
Make 7 up yours, and it was like the first graphic tee that I got.
Yeah.
And when we did this movie, and I watched it and was like, "Oh shit, Orlando Jones is in this movie. He was all about Make 7 up yours."
Yeah.
I gotta find that shirt.
And I mean, I really don't know which came first, if Evolution came first or Make 7 Up Yours came first, but I feel like the mosquito flying up his butt is a direct relation to
spoilers. Yeah. A lot of ass play in this movie.
Oh my God. I mean, the movie doesn't hold up well in a lot of ways.
Many ways.
But that I was shocked just how much anal, how many anal sex jokes there were in this movie.
Quite a few.
And we'll get into it.
And we linger on them.
Way too long.
Yeah. Like linger isn't the right verb.
Well, I mean, let's just come out of the gate.
We loiter.
We loiter on them. This is the. Have you ever seen the movie?
I'm very curious what you're going to say right now, considering we're talking about loitering on anal jokes. But yeah, have I ever seen the movie?
Not where I was going at all with that sketch. But have you ever seen the movie? With John Cusack,
I've seen a couple.
About the record store.
Yeah, we watched that together.
We did. Okay, I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's
Empire Records.
No, it's one of my favorite movies, but I'm blanking on the name. It's a book by Nick Hornby.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you had me watch it at some point. I remember
it's not called Just Push Play. That's an Aerosmith album, but I remember. Yeah, we did watch it together. Mm-hmm. But there's a line in where they're talking about Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you hold a once great songwriter liable for the sins of the mistakes late in their career?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's exactly where Ivan Reitman falls.
Okay.
In Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2 decades past his prime, and he's completely out of touch with the humor of the age.
I would agree with that.
And you just know Ivan Reitman thought that these jokes were just comedy gold, and he's firing with a howitzer cannon at a barn-sized target.
Yep.
And missing entirely and blowing up the middle school down the street.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of collateral damage.
There was a lot of collateral damage in this movie. Like a lot of collateral damage in the form of people's careers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
High Fidelity.
Thank you. High Fidelity. Thank you very much for looking that up.
On my own.
Yeah, you didn't pull out your phone at all and
No
look at it. You were looking at pictures of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Should we get into the history of evolution?
I typed in John Cusack anal loitering. High fidelity, right up. Boop, there it is. Was that a movie where Jack Black like beat someone with like a
John Cusack, Jack Black, and I can't remember who the third guy is. They drop an air conditioner on Tim Robbins' face.
Tim Robbins. They
beat him with an old rotary phone and then drop an air conditioner on him. And we both have laughed at that over and over again.
Yeah.
It's a joke that comes back in our conversations over and over. Like, man, let's just drop an air conditioner on his face.
So, what's this director's name again?
Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Reitman. So you're saying Ivan Reitman couldn't hit the broadside of Tim Robbins' face with an air conditioner?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Comedy-wise, in the 90s. In the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. And connected, there's a line in that movie about Stevie Wonder and an album that he had released that they were talking about as music snobs.
Guys, we got there.
Yeah, it took a little bit.
Connected all the dots. It's a picture of a kid.
Shocking. I worked hard to find the backstory and history and production details of this movie, and they have just been scrubbed from the internet sketch.
Quite possibly harder than anyone else has.
It's just not out there. I looked through like magazine archives to try and find interviews with the cast, and there's nothing there. There aren't any funny anecdotes.
No.
There isn't a making of. There aren't any behind the scenes or bloopers on the DVD. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like the movie doesn't exist other than you can watch it. And I think that's really telling about this movie.
You shouldn't.
You really shouldn't.
You can watch it as a study. Don't watch it as a good time.
I have a very limited history for this movie, but it's the best I can do, and I hope you'll forgive me for that.
Let's hear it, and then I'll decide if I'm going to forgive you or not.
Everyone thought this movie was going to be Ghostbusters, and it was and it's just not.
Yeah.
And there was this big push for a third Ghostbusters movie in the late 90s. Evolution began life as a short story and was adapted to a screenplay by David Diamond and David Wiseman, who are a screenwriting team. They have great credits in their name. They're a great team of writers. And it was turned into a serious sci-fi horror film.
Okay.
That could
legit work.
Yeah. Until Ivan Reitman got his hands on the script and rewrote it as a faux Ghostbusters movie. Principal photography began on October 19th, 2000 and wrapped on February 7th of 2001. It's kind of a long shoot.
Yeah.
When you think about this movie.
Yeah. And you shouldn't.
It seems like a movie that you could have made in a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a long shoot. It premiered in Korea on June 8th, 2001.
That's a great sign. Okay.
Sketch. How much do you think this movie cost to make? $2001.
$45 million.
That's a pretty good guess. $80 million.
In the ballpark.
How much do you think it grossed worldwide?
$45 million.
Worldwide.
Yeah,
total release.
I'm saying not a lot.
$45 million is a little low.
I think it's deserving.
Worldwide, it grossed $98.4 million.
That's, in the scheme of things, I'm not that low.
No.
That's low.
Domestic, this movie made $45 million.
Not bad.
A colossal disaster for the studio.
Yeah.
Colossal.
What studio was this?
Columbia.
Okay.
Sony Columbia, which is who Ivan Reitman works for.
Okay.
It did create a spin-off cartoon, Alienators: Evolution Continues, 26 episodes from September 15th, 2001 to June 22nd, 2002.
Okay. And how many ass jokes were in that cartoon?
Probably a lot. I mean, so in the movie, Sean William Scott's character is named Wayne Gray. They changed his name to Wayne Green. in the movie.
That was the big problem.
Because he becomes infected with the alien DNA and he's part alien.
Oh, that would have been fun.
They wrote
Go that way.
Julianne Moore's character out and replaced her with like a military attaché.
Okay.
And they're like a Ghostbusters-esque squad called the Alienators. Okay. And they have like the patch on their jumpsuits and stuff, and they have headquarters, and they drive around in a fire truck.
Okay.
That's their vehicle, like the fire truck from the movie. Not good.
No.
I mean, so there's an amalgamation of like a Men in Black cartoon series, a Godzilla cartoon series, the Evolution series Alienators. There's also, I mean, it's just an amalgamation of cartoons. Mummies Alive, which Ivan Reitman was executive producer of.
Wow.
And Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon, even though there was no Ghostbusters movie, you could tell there was supposed to be a Ghostbusters movie because there was a cartoon series ready to roll to fill in with product placement and toys and stuff after the movie came out, but there was never a Ghostbusters movie. It's entirely forgettable. It's not very good, and 26 episodes is kind of like a flash in the pan.
Yeah. This movie, Evolution, is very obviously, let's take Ghostbusters and let's mix it up with some Men in Black and Jurassic Park.
And some Jurassic Park,
Those were all huge. This is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And you would be better served to just watch Ghostbusters and then Men in Black and then Jurassic Park. Just do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't do any of the three well.
No. And it's like when Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls came out, people had a very violent reaction to it. And it was often described as just Steven Spielberg romping through his previous cinematic history. It was like kind of Close Encounters, a little Indiana Jones, a little of this, a little of that. It was kind of like everything he'd ever done. And Evolution kind of fits this mold. It's kind of Ivan Reitman romping through like the National Lampoon stuff, Ghostbusters,
Ass play.
Yeah, he did that. No. But I mean it's him going through like
a lot of it in the movie.
There's a lot of it in the movie. Shall I read my synopsis?
Oh. I bet it'll be more entertaining than the movie.
After a meteor containing proto-goo crashes to Earth in Glen Canyon, Arizona, disgraced Army scientist Dr. Ira Kane and his department co-chair and volleyball coach, Dr. Harry Block, are thrust into the forefront of a full-on alien insurgency. Not an invasion, notice you. Together with Dr. Allison Reed, they must take on the CDC, the alien threat, and the military-industrial complex as they search for a method to stop the alien evolution. Oh, and
I see what you did there.
And Stifler's in this movie.
Stifler's in the movie. Stifler starts the movie.
My
movie. My first note is Stifler's in this movie.
Yeah, and he's basically playing Stifler. I don't know which movie came out first, if it was American Pie or...
American Pie came out first, but there were like 3 American Pies. And this was in the middle of
2 of them?
Like, he was literally still Stifler.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Throughout.
I feel like he was filming...
Stifler existed before and after Evolution.
And during Evolution.
Yeah.
He's just playing Stifler.
Evolution is just a flash in the pan in the middle.
Do you ever see The Rundown with Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yes, I did.
And so it's like, so he can play other characters.
Yes, he can.
He just chose not to.
We should do The Rundown. I haven't seen that in many years.
I've never seen the whole thing.
I think we should do it.
I would like to do that.
Because that was like a fun, action-y... And it's The Rock.
I would like to do a double feature of The Rundown and his version of Walking Tall, which I think are very similar movies. Johnny Knoxville's in it, and Johnny Knoxville plays a great character.
Okay.
Or I would like to do both of those. Let's do it. Let's do like a Rock.
Also, we should do The Rock.
We should do The Rock.
Rock's
this is not movie. That. I mean, these are all movies that I would have enjoyed rewatching more than this.
Yeah,
basically.
Oh, we don't have Shades. We don't have the time to list all the movies that I would like to watch.
So, I mean, do you have anything to add to that summary?
No.
Should we just get right to rants and raves?
There are dragons.
There are dragons. Oh my God. I have a whole section on just in-betweeners, but I just want to share this one right now. I'll save it. Actually, I'll save it when I get to this rant.
And this is a great. This movie is.
This movie is fucking terrible.
You know, no, maybe that would be a rant. That'll be a rant. I'll save it.
We'll do the all important internet scores
because we got a lot to talk about. You see my notes. You see my rant section on notes.
Oh my god,
that's my rant.
Where
section.
are your raves? Oh my god. IMDb gives Evolution a 6.1, which is like basically the score that they gave Detective Pikachu, and I am outraged.
I don't normally say this. Fuck you, IMDb.
Yeah, like, did we watch the same fucking movie?
I submit no.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 43.
Thanks, Rotten
Tomatoes. Which I feel like is high for Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah.
89% of Google reviewers love this movie.
I'm not going to say fuck you, Google, just because they're positive.
Yeah, they're all yeah, they only write in if they like something. Yeah. The people who don't like them don't bother to write in.
Yeah, of course.
And I had a lot of trouble scoring this movie sketch. The one redeeming quality of it is that they were able to do some new things that I hadn't necessarily seen before.
It's true. It's
true. And so I gave this movie a 50. Well, I started at a 43, and I felt that was too harsh.
Okay.
I went up to a 70, and I thought, like, I've been hit on the head.
That's awfully generous.
I was hit on the head. I came down to a 55, and I settled at a 60.
What a journey.
Yeah, because, like, in the end, I was like, what would I watch this more than Captain America Civil War? And it was really a tie. It was really like, oh man, I don't know which I would watch. It doesn't have a fire pole. It's not Ghostbusters.
That's a big drawback for you. No fireball.
It's and like, oh man, I think I would watch Captain America Civil War more than this. So I can't give it a higher score than Civil War. So I wound up settling at a 60.
Okay.
Which I still feel like is just ridiculously high.
It's a little high for my taste, but it's your score.
I think my original calibration of a 45
is fairer. But take the 60. I'm happy to let you have the 60.
I don't want the 60. Where should I've given you my scoring journey.
Yeah. I thought you were going to land somewhere in the 50s.
I'm going to stick with my
average.
I'm going to stick with my 55.
Okay.
I'm going to give this movie a final answer 55.
Okay.
I don't think it did anything well.
No.
But it did actually try some things that people
we'll get there. I am not
willing to try in this age. And anyway. 55.
Okay, final answer. Guys, do you see what Shades did there? His score evolved.
It did.
Throughout the process. I gave it a 47.
Okay, so we're close.
Yes. I mainly, more than anything, found it to be harmless and forgettable. It did not offend me the way that like a Batman Ninja did, so I couldn't go lower than that. But at the same time, and they did try some cool new things.
Yeah.
But so much of this movie just fell so flat that my score had to reflect
it. It devolved.
It devolved.
It devolved.
I feel like it never took off from the goo it had started as.
I mean, so I'll say this: where there are forgettable things in it. Like I can't say that because there are elements of this movie that hit me and stuck with me, and have never left me. Like when they're riding in the.
It sounds like something you should tell to a therapist.
I know, right? When they're riding in the Jeep to play that funky music, White Boy. I feel like that was in the trailer.
It was.
I know that I, as a result of this movie, put that song on a mix CD, like one of my driving mixes, that I recently found and still there. Like that scene stuck with me. The mall escapades,
the dragon hunt,
the dragon hunt, the dragon hunt stuck with me.
Should do Dragonheart.
Oh.
I'm just finding so many better movies than this I want to do.
How many dragons do you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Connery, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
And we'll see you for Dragonheart.
It's another thing that stuck with me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think like how garbled his mouth was.
Nothing stuck with me from this movie, but it did come back to me watching it.
And like no, it stuck with me.
Yeah. Also Jeep Wrangler.
I drive a Jeep Wrangler.
Yep.
That's because of MacGyver.
Yeah.
Not because of Evolution.
But the current color rendition of your Jeep Wrangler. Very similar.
It's close. They had a red Wrangler.
Okay,
I have like a burnt umber.
I said similar. Okay, you're not driving a blue Wrangler. Okay, you're trying to distance yourself.
I'm desperately trying.
Yeah.
That's like a 1997 Wrangler. I drive a 2003 Wrangler.
Completely different, guys. Guys, fuck you for even suggesting that. God damn it.
That's a Jeep LJ.
What?
I drive a Jeep TJ.
Complete side note. On my way to the GOCO, I passed a Jeep pickup truck.
Oh, yeah, that's the Gladiator. The Jeep Gladiator.
It looks like legit a Jeep Wrangler that has had a bed pickup just bolted to the back of it.
It's actually a completely new platform. It's kind of their answer to the Land Rover Defender.
Okay, so it's real. It's not something that someone just made.
It was a company. A company was making a vehicle that was a Jeep JK that they
just kidding
cut onto a just kidding, that they made useful for off-roading.
Yeah, and
they put a pickup truck on the back of it, and they called it the Goliath.
Oh, they should have called it the Jeep LOL.
Yeah, and so in this iteration, the JL, I think it's called.
Is this a newer?
Yeah, this is the brand new. So they came out, the new Wrangler was 2018. And for 2019, this was a new vehicle.
Well, thank God this episode
the JL
not
platform.
Brought to you by Jeep, because
it's called the Jeep Gladiator.
Can't get behind it.
I mean, and they don't look like Jeeps anymore.
If you want a Jeep, get a Jeep. If you want a pickup, get a pickup. It's like this movie. If you want Men in Black, watch Men in Black.
If you want Ghostbusters, watch Ghostbusters. And if you want Jurassic Park, watch Jurassic Park.
Oh my God. This is perfect. That Jeep that I saw.
Perfect metaphor for this movie.
Is this movie on the road.
It is.
I should have looked and see if David Duchovny was in there.
I bet he was. Well, was somebody pressing their hams against the window?
Someone was.
Oh, that was probably him.
Grapefruit basket.
It's about all he's got going on at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the X-Files ended again.
Yeah.
So he's available for a sequel.
Are we in raves?
I mean, I don't know what we're doing right now, Sketch, but we should probably get to rants and raves.
Okay, my first rave. David Duchovny's sweet white ass.
Are you serious?
No. However, not a rant either.
I don't understand the joke of that. It's a great fruit. Check out this fruit basket.
I don't understand that either.
I believe those are pressed hams.
Sure.
If my middle school humor is up to snuff.
I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about his genitalia,
which you can't see.
You can't see it.
He's mooning them.
And it's him.
Yeah,
that's not a butt double.
It's not a butt double.
Like, this is the movie where David Duchovny was like, I'm going to show my ass in this movie.
I mean, this was...
first of many ass references in this movie.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But...
I just, I have a big question at the end, and I just want to keep coming back to... everybody in this movie turned down something else to work with Ivan Reitman, who's legendary.
Yeah.
And to a person, the only things I can find
can't blame him for wanting to,
to an actor in this film, they were basically like, I'm not known for comedy. And the chance to work with Ivan Reitman is, you can't pass that up. And that's like the only things you can find about this movie on the internet of how it got made. To an actor, it's Ivan Reitman. Of course you got to take the opportunity. Julianne Moore, I'm not really known for comedy. And I really wanted the opportunity to work with Ivan Reitman.
Was Julianne Moore, was she the one in Lost World? Jurassic Park also?
Yes. Okay. Did that come out before or after this?
I want to say before.
I want to say before also. Yeah. I mean, she's essentially playing the same character.
Very similar character, yeah.
It was her decision to make the character klutzy. That was her contribution to the role.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're in raves right now.
Sure,
so I don't want to talk about it yet.
What's your first actual rave?
Well, this is unique because I have this is my first rave, also my last rave. I have one. I
only have two raves
for this movie. My rave, from start to finish, is that it was a cool twist on an alien invasion.
Yes,
because these weren't.
Well, it's an alien insurgency.
Yes, so we're very used to.
They're not aliens; they're grown of planet Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They originated in outer space.
The proto-goo.
But then. The menace to mankind is
a new species.
Their new species that has just an incredibly fast ability to evolve. And
no sex. No time for it.
No, there's no time for it.
No time for it.
It was new.
Absolutely.
I think it was done pretty well. especially when you just consider other aspects of this movie. Like, that was a cool idea. I wish they kind of had gone into it more. Like, they really just went from nothing to we have to kill it, and no, like,
right.
I need a character who's like, we should study
this.
Yeah. But still, as far as like an alien threat movie goes, this was a fun, cool twist on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. My first rave, show me something new and I'm all in.
Yeah. You said it from time to time.
It's a cool ass premise.
Yeah.
And a totally unique solution. It's brilliant. Mm-hmm. Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders.
Fucking shampoo, like off the shelf shampoo.
Up the pooper.
Okay, that's not so show me something new. Like, oh, wow.
Well, that wasn't new for you. Interesting.
No, I mean, that's a pretty...
You were like, seeing it.
That's a pretty common trope of 80s movies.
That's true. That is true.
So, but the solution of...
was an off-the-shelf product.
Off-the-shelf product solution.
With
we
a
just
brand
need
that all of America knows.
500 gallons of Head and Shoulders.
Pump it into a fire truck.
Head and Shoulders, not a sponsor of the movie, by the way. It was just meant to parody product placements. It was a result of Ivan Reitman's disgust with product placement in movies.
Okay.
And so he just took something so ubiquitous and put it in the movie. Mm-hmm. Head and Shoulders tried to stop them from using it.
Don't blame them.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah.
But, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Great premise.
Yeah, I mean,
great solution.
The fun thing, the cool thing about it was, like, science saved the day.
Like the mundane saved the way.
Yeah, but like it was the science of typical average everyday stuff. It was just like knowing the elements and what's in what and what will destroy what.
How do you two know that? You don't know anything.
Yeah.
Don't you notice how shiny and flake free our scalps are?
Yeah. Those two idiots. Did you know the smaller of the two brothers?
Yeah.
Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts.
Oh my God!
I watched
the shit out of that.
My wife didn't watch this whole movie with me. She was in and out.
Yeah, understandable.
But
understandable.
She was there when they were introduced, and she immediately went, "Oh, that's Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts."
Snowball and Donkey Lips.
And I was like, "What? Are you? What? You just pulled that out of nowhere?" And I looked it up, and it was. And I was like, "Well, good on you, babe.
I love that.
That you got Donkey Lips right there.
Well done, Mrs. Sketch."
Yep.
I
should call her Script.
Ooh, Script.
She's really good with her handwriting. Script and Sketch.
Was my secretary for a while.
Yep.
Short-lived.
Yep. Donkey Lips on the brain, apparently. I'm not proud of it. I'm just reporting.
Script, Sketch, and Doodle.
Yep.
Sure. I have one more rave.
Sure. I love how there's a question mark.
I thought the effects held up surprisingly well.
They were fine. They were like fine. Like they held up as good as I would say. Like,
and it was a nice, it was a nice blend of practical and special effects in a similar vein of like the puppetry that they used in Men in Black. It was that same era of ILM puppetry with CGI.
At the very beginning of the movie, when Stifler's car is blown up, I was like, that's nice to see. Like a real explosion. A real car was tossed.
Yeah.
There's just something to it. There's a weight to
There's a weight and a whimsy.
Like yeah.
Because no real explosion in life is actually that big.
Oh, no. Yeah.
There's something to a Hollywood practical explosion.
There certainly is.
And also just something to a real crumbling car.
Yes. The car is what nailed that explosion.
And I mean, it drove up on screen. I was like, oh, sweet. 70 Buick Riviera.
Yep.
And then was immediately just kind of like a piece of me died when they destroyed it. Because there are so few of those cars left in the world.
Still drives.
But they had to destroy like 3 of those cars because he was still driving it around afterwards.
The fictional car still drives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little piece of me kind of winced.
Just a little work.
I mean, you know what I'm going to take from this episode.
I have an idea.
Okay. I bet you don't.
Oh, well, we were just talking about this, and then I said I had an idea, and then you said, I bet you don't, so now I no longer.
I mean, I maybe you do.
Okay.
We'll
get there.
We'll get there,
I guess.
That was my last rave.
Yeah, I'm out.
Sketch, I have some in-betweeners that are neither rants nor raves.
Just little In-betweeners, yeah, no other way to put it.
I mean, I would just like to run down the list of funny little anecdotes about this movie.
Yeah, this movie could use something funny.
That make it just bonkers.
Yeah.
What would you say if I told you David Duchovny turned down a role in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, to do this movie?
Oh, no. Oh.
Jango Fett.
No shit.
He could have been Jango Fett.
Oh, that's sad.
Like,
I feel so bad for him.
I want to bring David Duchovny into studio and ask him his thoughts. Yeah. Like, you could have been all of the clone troopers.
Oh, man.
You could have been Jango Fett.
That's very sad.
No one has said he was supposed to be Jango Fett, but, like, if you dig deep enough, it's like, oh, they wanted him for Jango Fett.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, coming off of X-Files, how would have that been to, like, break a mold?
Yeah.
Sketch, what would you say if I told you that this movie was filmed in December and DreamWorks asked all of the locals to delay putting up their Christmas decorations, and following the shoot paid for the city employees the overtime to light the town up for Christmas?
Oh, that's less sad. That's nice that they did that. I believe that it was filmed in December because it takes place in Arizona, but like everyone was dressed warmly.
But $80 million budget, how much of that do you think went to getting the lights up for Christmas?
Well, at my house, it takes about $25,000 a year.
Right.
So, you know, I'd say most of that budget. Most of that budget. I'm glad they did that, though. Like, that makes me feel good. You have another what if I told you?
Oh my God. What would you say if I told you that while selenium is an element in Head and Shoulders shampoo and its placement on the bottle is correct, what would you say if I told you that it's only in the intensive treatment and only consists of 1% of the selenium sulfide solution?
I guess that's why they need 500 gallons of it.
I guess. But I mean, that's still 500 gallons at 1%.
That's 5 gallons.
Right.
5 gallons of it.
You know what I mean?
Weak.
That's weak.
Weak stuff.
It's a weak selenium sulfide solution. Selenium sulfide was placed in it was a major component in the construction of Dana Barrett's apartment in Ghostbusters, which is just Reitman pulling something that he knew was scientific. What if I told you there was an actual evolutionary consultant on the film?
I'll buy it. Sure. The evolution felt authentic to me, the way things were evolving.
Sure.
But I don't think you need a consultant. Like, I am no biologist, and like, it all felt right to me. Like, I feel like I could have come up with the evolutionary line of these things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here are all of the directors that passed on this movie before Ivan Reitman got his hands on it. Steven Spielberg.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Sam Raimi. Joe Johnson.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Joe Johnson was in the list.
Who else here? Sam Raimi, Steven Spielberg. Okay, I guess that's it. That's all they released for directors. Here's everybody that passed on Ira Kane. Bruce Willis.
Ira Kane was David Duchovny's character?
Yes. Okay. Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg. Charlie Sheen.
Interesting.
Kevin Kline.
Okay.
Mike Myers.
Huh.
And Scott sorry, no. And Ty Burrell, who was unknown at the time. This was his first movie.
I don't know if any of those
would have made it better.
Been as good as David Duchovny. David Duchovny was not good, but like
it's terrible.
I don't know if any of those actors would have brought anything different to it.
Here are all the actors that passed on Dr. Ira Block.
Okay.
Scott Bakula, Quantum Leap,
Yep.
Star Trek Discovery, not Discovery, Star Trek Enterprise. Who else? Scott Bakula, Billy Crystal,
Ooh.
Sam Jackson. Here's everyone that passed on Dr. Allison Reed.
Okay, Julianne Moore's character.
Yep. Lorraine Bracco, Angie Everhart, and Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, Batgirl.
Yes. And here's everybody that passed on General Woodsum. Liam Neeson.
Wow.
John Malkovich.
Ooh. There's just like a list of good career choices.
Yeah. Oh, Timothy Hutton.
Okay.
I don't know. Loki.
Oh.
Wait.
Not Loki. That's
Timothy.
That's
Tom
sorry.
Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston. Timothy Hutton was Leverage. It's a TV show.
Oh.
Sorry. Also passed on Ira Kane. But sorry. Liam Neeson, Ian McKellen passed on General Woodsum.
Just smart decisions all around.
Oh, and directors that also passed. Robert Zemeckis and John Landis.
Okay.
And also passed on directing the movie. So basically everyone who was working in Hollywood at the time and
knew better
than to do this movie.
Fair.
I feel like any of those directors would have turned in a better movie than Ivan Reitman.
Fair. That's also a fair statement.
Yeah. So wow. Yeah. I feel like any of those combinations of directors and actors would have turned in a better movie.
Yeah.
So just some fun
food for thought
of the movie that could have been had Ivan Reitman not gotten his hands on this movie.
I still think the premise is strong enough that you could do a cool reboot.
Well, the premise was there before Reitman got there. He just rewrote it as Ghostbusters, not Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like it was a dark sci-fi horror thriller. That would have been such a better movie.
Yeah, do that. And I don't even like horror.
I don't either.
But I'd watch that over this.
Sure.
Yeah.
So those are some fun in-betweeners.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us to rants.
Oh boy. All right.
You mind if I start?
Oh, please do.
This is the worst elements of dated humor and movie tropes of the 1980s, 2 decades too late. Homosexuality, senseless violence, catchphrases, vehicles, paranormal, National Lampoon humor, misogyny, and it's just so fucking dated.
Oh yeah.
It's so dated.
I wrote that here. The humor is the opposite of timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just awful.
Do you remember thinking it was funny when it came out?
I remember thinking there was something wrong with it when it came out. Like all the makings of a movie that I would like are there. None of them worked.
Yeah.
And I recognized that at the time. You had a catch song, you had a logo, you had a vehicle, whether it was the Wrangler or the fire truck. You had like the baddie, the apocalypse ending event. You had government pressing down on it. You had like these disrespected, witty, kind of lazy scientist types. Like all the elements of movies that I loved were there.
Yeah, they're all there. No fire pole.
No fire pole.
The fire truck's right there. I mean,
they had a fire pole in Alienators.
There's fire training going on. How do you not put it in a fire pole?
How do you not put it in a fire pole?
It's grievous.
It is. So, yeah.
I will say there was one joke for me that landed. There was one single joke in the entire movie that I was like, no, that one didn't land for me.
Okay.
The joke I liked was when Orlando Jones gets the bug under his skin and it's crawling through his leg.
Oh, right? Yeah. Don't take my leg.
Yeah,
he thinks he's an athlete.
That's the line.
He thinks he has
the line. Is there anything you can do? He thinks he's an athlete. That was good. That's good humor.
It was.
That's the one instance in this movie of like.
And that's the thing. Like Duchovny does actually have comedic timing.
Yes.
So I mean, it says a lot about the experience of making the movie.
And that joke like that does not need to be like big and over the top, like the it's going towards his testicles and
take the leg.
Let's just go fishing around inside his butt for a long time, and he's going to make lots of facial expressions, and they're going to be like, "You're brave. You're such a brave boy."
Yeah. That thing that was inside, he's like this. Took it like a man.
Can I get you anything?
No, oh no.
Ice cream. Okay, what flavor?
He thinks he's an athlete.
For my ass.
Yeah.
Just that little.
That was
so
much,
easy to miss.
Yep.
Just, is there anything you could do? He thinks he's an athlete.
Yep.
I liked that.
Perfect.
Yes. That was the only joke for me.
You have a first. We're ranting here, sketch.
See, they're so big. They're so big that, like, what do I want to dive into first? Okay. This is less big, but it's huge. The acting. I have nothing against any of these individual actors, but their acting in this movie was so flat. I mean, it was so nothing. It was so nothing. And I wrote down that nobody had like any range of emotion, and all the performances it felt like the direction they were given was just do what you did on fill in the blank. So David Duchovny was just like a blah version of Mulder from X-Files. Dan Aykroyd was literally just his character from Tommy Boy.
Right. I think he's still wearing the same coat. Basically,
is.
It's like you can tell me he was
filming at the same time as when he was Ray Zielinski. Sean William Scott was just like a tame Stifler.
Yeah,
like everyone
Stifler was just some motivation in life.
Yes, everyone was just like, okay, do what.
I think Orlando Jones was the only person doing an actual character.
Yeah. Do what you're known for. Like a new original.
Julianne Moore, do the character you did in Lost World.
Yeah. I will not talk about Julianne Moore, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole other
story.
A whole other rant. Women should just not be in movies. That's, I mean,
God.
You know me.
LTL sketch is kidding.
Obviously.
He's kidding.
Our longtime listeners know me well enough by now. Yeah, according to our first episode, I thought that was you. Right? Wasn't that your big issue?
That was
Wonder Woman, right?
My big issue with Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I remember.
Too many women in the movie.
Too many women in the movie. Yep. Yeah. Should all be men dressed as women.
Yes,
like
that is
classical Greek
That
theater.
is what you said my big issue with the movie was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that now. So there you go. Flat acting across the board, every single person.
And it gets worse as the movie goes on.
Yes. Life drains from this movie.
The crux of how flat and awful it was to work on this movie is they do the faux Head and Shoulders commercial at the end.
They do.
I mean, if you just look at Orlando Jones' face, he so does not want to be there. He holds the bottle up backwards, and they didn't bother to reshoot it.
Yeah, it's
which means they couldn't get him to reshoot it.
It is
and they still put it in the movie.
It is a spotlight and cave backdrop away from being like a terrorist interrogation film. That's how little those actors look like they want to be there. Like,
I mean, and at times they are in a cave.
Yeah.
My next big rant. It's so obviously trying to be Ghostbusters.
It is very much so.
And I'll take the disgraced it's like Ivan Reitman said, I'm going to take all these elements from all of these movies. Like, so the disgraced college angle from the first movie, the courtroom scene from the second movie, and I don't think that the United States military and the CDC go to procedural hearings in court.
Yeah, Julianne Moore was like their lawyer.
I don't think that's how the CDC and the American military operate. Correct me if I'm wrong, long-time listeners, but I don't think they do. The end of the world aspect, the government antagonist of Peck, it's so clearly just cherry-picking the things that worked really well in Ghostbusters and just like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have, he's going to give a witty answer from the stand and everybody's going to laugh. It just doesn't work at all.
It's like when you hear someone like at a social event, like copy a joke you've already heard and they butcher it.
Terrible.
Yeah. That's this movie.
It is.
Yeah.
You got another rant?
Yeah. This is a big one. The writing. Okay, yeah, it's longer than that. But you literally could stop it there.
You could stop there.
The writing for all the characters, it was so weak. Characters were not even two-dimensional. They were all one-dimensional. They embodied like one single character attribute with little to no payoff. Orlando Jones is a horny teacher. Sean William Scott is focused on being a firefighter for some reason.
Right.
Julianne Moore is clumsy.
That's her character.
They give her nothing. And I'm happy that she brought in clumsy on her own.
Right.
But like, They give her nothing. And her big contribution to beating the aliens is she happens to be wearing the right shirt that a man then reads and comes up with the solution.
Oh my God.
It's like she's the fucking CDC
doctor. Yes.
She knows a thing or two.
I believe she is the assistant director of the CDC.
And she was used only as, I guess her other character trait was she's secretly horny.
Her clothing was her secret character trait.
I guess the way she dresses is her
there's a scene, one of the few production things I found is that there was a scene in the courtroom, her blouse bursts open and she exposes herself to Ira Kane, and she's pulling her jacket closed through the editing, and then they reference it later with or they're in the diner and Orlando Jones says, "Geez, Ira, are all the women you're gonna mate today gonna rip off their shirts in front of you?"
Yeah. And
thank God they took it out of the movie, but
thank
at
goodness.
What point did they think that was funny?
I know, and okay, the first time they meet her, she falls down because she's clumsy, and it shows that she's wearing stockings with garter belts or something, and they're like, "Ooh," and it's immediately predatory, ugh. And then her whole existence in this movie is just to prove to David Duchovny that she wants to bone as much as he
bait.
does. Yep. And that was bad.
And that was funny.
Bad. No, it's not funny.
It's not.
Isn't it funny that women are sexual? No, that's just real life.
It's 1950s.
You didn't turn something on its head here.
Predatory behavior.
Yeah.
That people if they laughed out of it, out of discomfort, or only sexual predators find that funny, if at all.
Yeah. It was just so
bad,
cringy.
Yeah.
It was just and I have nothing against Julianne Moore, but it was every time she was on screen in this movie, I was cringing. This is super uncomfortable. Was everyone on set also very uncomfortable?
I hope so.
And it doesn't end with Julianne Moore because Orlando Jones was super predatory.
I can't remember the character's name. She wants to be Miss Arizona.
Oh yeah, and she is by the end of the movie.
She is, the governor makes her Miss Arizona,
yeah. The student is trying to basically sleep her way to a better grade.
Yep.
Orlando Jones has that talk with Stifler in Denny's about do you ever get to see them shower, the volleyball team?
Right,
and he's sometimes I get to shower with them. It's no, this is 2001.
No, sir.
That was never okay.
Was never okay. Not acceptable.
You should be fired.
You should be in jail, sir.
I would have given this movie so many more rave points if at the end of the movie he thinks he's getting up to get an award and police take him off.
In handcuffs.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's
funny.
Funny.
At the end of the day,
Schadenfreude.
The alien invasion
is averted, and Ira Kane goes.
Everything is
he goes to prison for withholding the information from the military, creating a national disaster, and Harry Block goes to prison for being a sexual predator, and Stifler goes to prison for intentionally setting fires.
Sure, I love it.
That's funny.
Everyone goes to prison at the end.
That's funny. Yeah. And I guess the CDC doctor goes to prison for stealing research from a military installation.
She stole off government property after resigning.
That's fucking funny.
That's funny. Fix the movie that way.
That's good.
This group does not deserve a hero's end.
No, none of them.
None of them do.
And the fact that they slink off into the fire truck to bone is like
horny teenagers.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I think he's giving her a bit of the Kane madness, sir. Yeah. No, that's not funny.
That's not funny.
No.
It's just not funny.
Not funny.
It's not. And it's also just not.
And we're laughing at the fact that people thought that this was funny and going to be this
we're smiling and laughing at is that
who in their right mind thought how did Ivan Reitman sell this to the executives?
It's David Duchovny, this is your big moment
to be Jango Fett.
Okay, to be Jango Fett, but also in this movie to be acknowledged for writing your comically hilarious.
What did David Duchovny do immediately after this? Went right back to the X-Files.
Yeah. Remember all the side effects of his vaccine or whatever? It's diarrhea and boners and erectile dysfunction.
And
I mean, it was every funny one that you could think of.
Yeah. Not funny.
Dumb.
All right, I have my last rant.
Yeah, that was my last rant because
my last rant's
so
a big one.
Okay.
No one
No one
was paying attention to the script or production of this movie. And the film during filming, the script supervisor was Barbara E. Tuss. And she was either completely disregarded or inept at her job.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with completely disregarded because, Mr. Reitman was on set. And what do I mean by that? The destruction to Wayne's car. When
you're
it is...
You're really stuck on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is completely, utterly... the windshield comes out of it. The top is flailing off. One of the wheels comes off in the explosion. And then they tip it over and he drives away. Another movement. Where people are standing in a scene. If you look at the cut, people are on one side of the room, then they're like next to each other, then they're back on the other side of the room. And it's in the context of a conversation. So you can tell they took multiple takes and cut them together. And no one was paying attention to where people were standing or what they were wearing or how their hair was parted or whether, or one of the things that's really annoying is Orlando Jones' glasses. In a scene will appear on and off his face over and over again. At the beginning of the movie, Wayne, when he runs into the burning building, he's not wearing a jacket. Through all of that, and then when he's being interrogated the next morning, he's wearing his jacket. Little things like this. Kane says at one moment that the army stole the computer's hard drive that he's using. But if the computer is on and he's using it, it has to have a working hard drive inside of it. So just like little...
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. The climax... This is the big one. The climax of the movie, they climb the ladder of this fire truck to shove the hose up the alien's
right up it.
Rectum and pump it full of Head and Shoulders.
You wrecked them. You bought them.
Payback. Never tell anybody what I just did.
Get it? It's a callback to when he had a bug up his pooper. Remember that, everybody? That's funny.
If you look at the hose, it never inflates with fluid.
No, it doesn't.
So they were just dumping whatever their and it was just the slime from Ghostbusters 2. The hose never inflates with fluid, and when the thing's going to explode, the ladder on the truck instantly goes from up to down.
Nobody cared.
That's such an egregious oversight.
Do you know how sometimes we say for raves, like, it didn't have to be this good?
It didn't have to be this good. Bad.
This shouldn't have been this bad. Like this
is like amateur
it's like
shit.
Going out of your way to
purposefully
shrug responsibilities.
Yeah. It's almost like Ivan Reitman was playing a prank on these actors.
It does feel prankish.
Doesn't it? Like, oh, you think you're going to be in the next Ghostbusters? Little do you know.
Okay, so far we have that it is a prank. It is a person with a bad sense of humor retelling a joke poorly in a social gathering, and it is a Jeep pickup hybrid. And they're all apt.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was not good. It was not handled well. Almost every aspect of it fell down for me. Every scene was uninteresting almost. I mean, when they first show up and it's like a rainforest down in the cave, that's pretty cool. That set piece and everything.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the creatures for the first time. When they're in the when they're in the Wrangler and they're singing "Play That Funky Music, White Boy," that was like the only joy I saw in the entire movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I mean, it was.
The thing that a lot of people harp on the internet is, and I did notice when we were filming, when they go into the mall and grab the shotguns, there are tags hanging off the shotguns, and the size of the tags keep changing.
Oh, interesting.
Which just leads me to believe that like the actors like were just ripping them off between scenes, and they didn't have, they just had to keep putting new tags on them. Yeah. It's like if you care enough to keep putting tags on the rifles, which is so inconsequential. It's like nobody was paying attention. There was no direction. There was no control. They do like the cool guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that scene. That part,
they don't eject. No, like they just shoot the dragon bird that they call a bird. It clearly looks like a dragon. So like the effects hadn't been rendered yet.
Not allowed to say dragon. That scene when they do the 3 guns.
Yeah, they've just fired the shotguns. It does not eject a shell out of the gun.
To me, that screamed as they got them all in place.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
It was absolutely that scene.
Yeah.
But what it screamed to me was, so they're standing over this dead creature. They do their shotgun in unison. It's like a cool hero shot.
It's the proton pack.
And then what it felt like should have come next was
a montage.
The director going, exactly. Now we're going to do it for real.
For real. Yeah.
Like... That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Like, that was the take.
That's the one
that's supposed to be the cool hero pose.
Yep.
Like, okay, you got all the staging right.
Okay,
you did how it feels.
Yep. Okay.
Now do it as your character, and we'll add in the effects.
Oh my god.
Instead, it was just got it. Let's move on.
We'll move on.
Yep.
And I mean, again, October to February.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. Yeah.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. You're like, everything does look like a first take. You're exactly right.
Got it. I could do that better.
I mean, I can rant.
I could rant for days.
For days on this, but I think maybe we should just move on to big questions.
Let's move on to big questions.
Now, Sketch, do you have a big question you'd like to ask me?
I do, but I feel like you're baiting.
I'm just throwing to you before I ask you.
Why was Sarah Silverman in this movie? Nothing against Sarah Silverman, but what her character served no purpose.
Her character was to take off her shirt.
Yes, it did not drive anything forward.
Nope. I thought they were gonna like. There's a scene later in the mall where there's a woman shoplifting and she's like putting on shirts and stealing clothes. Yeah. Like I was like, oh. That maybe that was supposed to be her character going and get a shirt.
Sure, yeah, because she was
like
the one taken by the dragon creature,
right? But I feel like Sarah Silverman like maybe had the wherewithal to walk off the set in the middle of shooting this movie.
It was just like, why include?
Why
that
was
scene?
She there? I don't know.
Was it just for a shirt open scene?
Is this like early in her career? Has she like?
It must have been. It had to have been early in her career.
2001. Was she not established by that point?
No, I don't think she was that established. She was. Like
Didn't she have a show? Comedian. Didn't she have the Sarah Silverman show?
Yeah, but that was later. That was like.
Was
college.
It really?
Yeah, that was like.
So like 3 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, and it's less about Sarah. My question is less about Sarah, more like that character. Why did we go there?
I don't know.
Why do we in a movie where like nobody has a backstory? Like, why don't you tell me why does Sean William Scott want to be a firefighter?
Sure,
that would be important. Why not tell me? Why Julianne Moore is so ready to just up and leave her position? Yep. Oh, she's horny. She's horny, and he wants
some of the Kane madness.
Exactly, and Sean William Scott just wants to be a firefighter. That's all you need. Just wants to be, and Orlando Jones is also horny.
Yeah, he just wants to shower with his volleyball team.
Yep. Everyone's either horny or a firefighter in this movie.
I think the only
only
effective person at their job was like the army lieutenant guy with the glasses who gets killed by the blue monkey creature.
Yep.
They never go after him to see if he's okay.
Never. No, he gets pulled down to that pit.
He's like he's the only person that dies in the movie.
Yep.
He's the only effective person I would argue he's the only good person in the movie.
He probably was like the only decent person.
Had to die.
Like the inept cops were like,
and he was like clearly supposed to be the Lewis Tully character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I guess what it boils down to is like, why add all this backstory when you didn't add like necessary backstory?
Yeah.
It felt to me like Sean William Scott wanted to be a firefighter because the end of the movie needed a fire truck.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Like
sure.
Julianne Moore had to want David Duchovny so that David Duchovny could get his
bone her in the fire truck.
And bone her in the fire truck.
Yeah.
It felt like Orlando Jones was just there.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, Orlando Jones was like selling the comedy like crazy.
He's the liaison to the USGS, which, they keep calling it the United States Geological Society.
Yeah.
It's the United States Geological survey.
Yeah, you're right. Everything else was so tight except for that.
The USGS, the S stands for survey.
Everything else, perfect. I don't know how they can make such a mistake. So I hope someone was fired.
It was a big rant for me. I hope the right person was fired.
Do you have a big question for me?
I do. I asked you this earlier, and I hope you had time to think about it.
I have.
Sketch, at what point do you think the cast realized that this was a bad idea and that they were not in the next Ghostbusters?
I would answer, I think one of the very first scenes they filmed was in the Wrangler singing Funky Music White Boy. And that was the most joy I saw on those three actors' faces and the best connection between the three of them. I literally think it was the first scene they filmed, whatever scene it was. They did the scene. The director went, got it, let's move on. And they knew enough to be like, that wasn't it. That was a practice. Let's do a real one now. I think that's what everyone was like.
That scene.
Yep.
Okay.
Whatever the first scene was.
I feel like that was also the first scene.
There is no other scene in the movie.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
That, like, I feel like at that moment, everyone involved, even not the actors, the other people on set, were like,
oh, no.
Oh, we're not going to get through.
Yeah.
We just got to get through this.
Right.
That's my answer.
Okay. That's a great answer.
Thank you. Scene one. Scene one after take one. One and only take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sketch, do you have another big question?
How was the force-evolved creature at the end of the movie, the big, giant, blobby creature, how was that one tolerant to our atmosphere? So everything else died in the oxygen until it evolved much, 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 much faster.
Right.
And further than that point. It reverted back to a stage where it shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been oxygen tolerant.
Correct.
I think it...
Or follow-up question, is the oxygen what actually killed it and not the shampoo enema?
Oh, and it's entirely possible. I think what they were going for, this is just me riffing.
Yeah.
I think that single-celled organism was a single-celled organism comprised of all the oxygen-resistant evolutionary creatures up until that point thrust into one meat puppet-esque
big meat. Guys, if you ever seen the movie, it looks like just like the Stranger Things
season 3, but blobbier. It's like all of those oxygen tolerant creatures in a Stranger Things-esque blob, making up a one-celled organism.
I'll take it. I'll accept it.
Time out?
Time out.
Okay.
I gotta pee so bad.
Okay. Okay. Next big question. What was the evolutionary path of the creatures? So we go from a single cell to a multi-cell organism to worms to insects to dinosaurs to dragons to blue monkey humans to a giant single-celled creature.
Yeah, I think you got it.
That's not how evolution works.
But they had an evolution consultant on set.
Yeah, so like insects don't turn into dinosaurs, don't turn into dragons, don't turn into blue monkey creatures. Like, you know what? Like, what was the evolutionary? What did the monkeys evolve from? And they're clearly just the monkeys from. I feel like I've seen them in another movie.
They did seem reminiscent to me.
Like Congo, maybe? Was that what the white monkey in Congo looked like?
Maybe we should do Congo at some point because I haven't seen it.
I feel like those were just like costumes from another movie.
Yeah, dyed blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't a good answer. There's nothing good about this movie, so who cares? I guess just like real evolution, it was just, things branched out. And what we saw was something on the insect track, and we saw something on the fish track, and we saw something on the lizard track, and it's a stupid answer for you. But I don't necessarily think the bug evolved then into the lizard, and then the lizard evolved into the dragon, and
The movie like leads you to believe that
it does, because it doesn't show a lot of other.
Right.
Like, we needed to see like some later down the line hyper evolved bugs, and some later down the line hyper evolved fish or whatever.
Right.
But yes, because it only shows us like one of each creature from each like branch of evolution, it's very easy to make the conclusion that like, oh, this turned into that, which turned into that, which turned into that.
Right.
And then at the end, this thing like ate everything and got really big.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. And we killed it with Head and Shoulders.
Which at that point, it was like not a threat.
No, it
wasn't. Once it was big, it was like done.
Yep. It's just a blob.
It's just a blob. And I still submit
the oxygen
not tolerant to oxygen.
Entirely possible.
That would have been comedy. That would have been comedy if they're doing the shampoo enema.
Like they're ready to do it and the thing just dies and falls on them.
Yes. And you could still get your rectum joke in.
Right.
It falls on them, and David Duchovny and Orlando Jones
wind
right up the rectum.
Yep. And that's the end of those characters.
That's funny because they think they got this big plan, and nope, nature took care of itself.
Like evolution, nature finds a way.
Yep.
Life finds a way. That's chaos.
Funny. We should redo this movie. Let's you and I do the reboot.
Let's write the script.
Yep. And we'll play every character.
We will.
Yep.
Coming to our Patreon soon.
We're just gonna be like sexed up.
Oh my god.
Just like crazy.
Give you a little bit of the Kane madness.
I'm not only horny, I'm also very clumsy.
And a doctor.
If you need my help, I'll just put the right shirt on.
Oh my god.
So that you can come to the answer yourself.
Do you have any more big questions?
No. My other question, I already kind of asked, how's Orlando not in jail? And again, I submit a funnier ending to the movie.
Okay. Sketch. I have one last big question.
Okay.
What if I were to tell you that it was just announced that Stranger Things 4 is officially happening?
Oh, awesome.
Is that the best news you've heard all day?
What other news have I gotten today? Yeah, best news I've gotten all day.
And the tagline is, quote unquote, we're not in Hawkins anymore.
All right. So, yeah, we thought.
We did theorize that.
We did think that was going to happen. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair.
You heard it here first. In 4 weeks.
When this episode drops.
Stranger Things, season 4.
It's going to be longer than 4 weeks.
Long 4 weeks.
Guys, you know what's going to be funny? We're talking about it right now. You're listening to it right now. And we've already talked about it probably on at least 2, maybe 3
midstreams. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's like time travel.
Timey-wimey.
It's like the closest thing we have to time travel. But just like evolution, we're not going to fix it.
We're not going to fix it.
No, fuck it.
We don't give a shit.
Leave it in. It's funnier.
Wibbly wobbly.
It's funnier.
It's funnier. It's probably the funniest thing from this episode.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Last question, Sketch.
Okay.
How the fuck did this movie get made?
I think, like you said, I think everyone attached to this movie had the same answer to that question the way all the actors did. It's
going to be Ghostbusters.
How do you say no?
It's going to be huge.
How do you say no to this? You have to do it. It's just too tempting. It's just too tempting of a win of the next big thing, and it's not. It's not.
Not good.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
Not something you want to be a part of.
Would you recommend other people to watch it?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
God, no.
I wouldn't either. We took this one for you guys.
We did. I mean, only in the conjunction of if you've never seen it and you want to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, or if you like horrible movies.
If you like as Chuck mentioned in our 50th episode, if you like schlock.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's schlocktastic.
It is.
But like I said earlier, if you want something like Men in Black, watch Men in Black.
Watch Men in Black.
If you want something like Ghostbusters, watch Ghostbusters. And if you want something like Jurassic Park, watch Jurassic Park.
But not Fallen Kingdom.
No. We're going to get there on that one, though.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
And I guess that brings us to Shades and Sketch Recommendations.
Right after an anti-recommendation.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to recommend, Sketch?
I am recommending Community.
Hey!
Because we're at a community college. And I was thinking about Community recently because for Halloween we did Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And one of their gags in the first season was they said Beetlejuice in a couple different episodes. And the time they said Beetlejuice the third time, a guy dressed as Beetlejuice walked by in the background. That show,
that's smart,
knows comedy.
You've asked me a couple times if I started watching it yet. I think it's time.
It has
before it leaves Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
It is before it leaves.
Definitely
for the Peacock.
Definitely,
I think it's time to watch.
Check it out. It starts great. It has a little bit of like a falling off, kind of like a Game of Thrones problem at the end because there were like a lot of issues with the cast and the direction that it went in. But the early years of it are so good. It is.
I think I remember reading something about that.
It's very sitcom that takes place in a community college. This band of people form a study group for their Spanish class, and like through that develop this relationship. And it's kind of their journeys through college. But what's great about it is each episode kind of ties in a different like film motif. So there's like definitely a Western episode.
Gotcha.
There's definitely like a crime noir episode. Like they filter these episodes. Yeah. And like here's an example of like how it's so fucking hilarious. They do the classic clip show, right?
Yeah.
Because every sitcom needs a classic clip show. And all the clips are made up for the clip show. Nothing is like clips from previous episodes.
Brilliant.
It's just, it knows comedy in a way that this movie did not know comedy. So I highly recommend watching Community, at least like the first 2 or 3 seasons. Then you can drop off if you want to. Once you see the cast start to really change, jump ship, it's fine. But
it's breaking the rules of that they established, of the purpose of.
So the first 3 seasons, definitely worth.
Cool, I'll check it out.
Community.
I am going to recommend Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the third and final game in the Square Enix Crystal Dynamics Lara Croft Tomb Raider series.
Okay.
So we got Tomb Raider.
No, Rise is the second one.
Sorry,
the last one, Shadow
of the Tomb Raider. So we got Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I am recommending Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the third and final game in the series. And while I personally feel it's the weakest of the 3 games, it was nice that they wrapped up the story and set Lara on her path. And did it in a fun and rewarding way.
Awesome.
So if you're a fan, it's certainly not the strongest of the 3 games, but it was a nice conclusion to her story.
I played the first one, loved the first one. It's in probably my top 5 games of all time. I'm in the middle of the second one.
Yeah. I think the second one's probably the strongest game.
Console gaming right now is a little difficult with Doodle at home. So I got to get back into a lot of my console games once Doodle gets a little more hands off with things he shouldn't be grabbing, like controllers and such. But I actually think I actually have Shadow of the Tomb Raider like primed. I think you do too. I think I have the actual physical copy ready to play.
Cool. I recommend it.
Play it.
It's good. Yeah, I just they cut a lot of corners and the story falls down in a lot of places, and Trinity winds up being not what you expected it to be through the first 2 games. Disappointing. Trinity is disappointing,
but still a recommendation.
And like if you've played any of the games, it's a fitting conclusion to the tale.
What would you play Shadow of the Tomb Raider or watch Evolution again?
I would play Shadow of the Tomb Raider 5 more times.
Awesome.
It's great gameplay.
Yeah.
The gameplay is definitely the most evolved.
That's awesome.
Cool. Sketch, you going to take anything from...
I'm going to take this bottle of Head and Shoulders. Because you never know.
You never know when you're going to need it.
You never know. Did you think I was going to bring something for my menagerie? Because I don't want anything for my menagerie here.
I did think you were going to take something for your menagerie.
No, thanks. How the fuck that woman think that was a dog?
I don't fucking know.
What an idiot.
She deserved to get bitten by that turkey vulture out of his mouth.
This movie did not treat women well.
It did not. It did not. Oh, my God.
Fair, really didn't treat anybody well.
It didn't. But, I mean, again, classic Ivan Reitman.
Yep. How about you? You going to take anything from
this
episode?
Fucking thing.
Whoa! Not even the car.
Nope.
It's too trashed.
Too trashed.
Oh, man. What a bummer.
Not a fucking
what
thing.
A bummer.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
I'm gonna take this feeling of joy at the fact that season 4 of Stranger Things is on its way.
What a aptly timed release a couple weeks ago. Hi, future people.
Hi.
So neat. We're talking to you from beyond the grave.
Spooky. No,
that only works so if we've died.
Yeah. If you are a fan of the show, you can reach out to us via email. We love to hear from you. You can do that at gowithshadesandsketch@gmail.com.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of write-ins lately.
We have. Keep them coming.
Really cool. We always address them on our midstreams.
Yeah, try and get those questions in. We tend to record on a Thursday, so try and get those questions into us before Thursday so we can address them in the as timely as possible.
Yep. And you guys know, I mean, you're smart. You figured it out. We do a big full episode every other week, and in those in-between weeks,
we do a
midstreams where we talk about the week's geek news, any corrections we need to make, stand by any stances that we've had, and announce next week's episode.
Any take backsies.
Any take backsies. Not a lot of take backsies.
Not a lot of
actually.
Take backsies.
So if you want to know what our next full episode is,
tune
into next week's midstream.
Where else can they find a sketch?
They can find us on the Facebooks. Just, searching
Geeking Out.
Shades Sketch.
You can tweet at us at GoWithShadesAndSketch.
Or you can tweet directly to Shades at GoForShades.
You can tweet directly to Sketch at GoForSketch. And you can find us on our Patreon.
Of course.
Thank you so much to all of our patrons who support us. Keep the lights on GOCO. It's not cheap to do this, and we love doing it. We do it anyway, but to
put it out there for everybody.
Yeah, to put it out there for everybody, we appreciate your help. And you can support the show for as little as $1.
What a deal.
Yeah, we're working hard for that $1.
We just told you to avoid evolution.
Yeah.
That's worth $1.
That's worth $1 right there.
That is.
You can find it at patreon.com/shadesansketch.
It's all about Shades and Sketch.
It is.
Yeah.
And I guess
I'd have the band play us out, but I got in some legal trouble last week, and I did have to release them to the wild.
Oh.
Yes. So I drove them.
Turns out indentured servitude, not on the up and up.
Who would have thought?
I'm shocked.
I really thought that was fine. But yeah, I drove the old U-Haul to the state forest late at night. Open it up and
I hope you'll forgive me for turning state's evidence on you to get immunity from the I hope you can find it in your heart.
It's going to take a little while. More offended about evolution at the moment. We'll just tally it to the
We'll get through this.
I've been offended.
Guys, we'll get through this.
I'm going to take off my glove and slap you.
That's deserved.
Yes. Yeah. Guys,
we will see you next time.